All right, hello wine drinking people. Today is Wednesday, the 15th of February. Halfway through the month of February, where did it go? A lot of great events, a lot of great drinking going on here at the Wine Watch. And our Musigny tasting a week ago, or I don't know, just over a week ago. It's hard to get to these reviews. It's going to be on the review for the event. It's going to be on the email today. That's right, folks. You know, it inspired me to put together this offering of vintage Burgundy after tasting 10 great vintage Bergs, 8 Musigny and 2 Bonnes-Mares going back to 64. I said, man, we have got an incredible collection of old vintage Burgundy in the store. And then we just fell into some more great wines from this cache of old Burgundies we found in a cellar in Boca. That's where we landed the 71, 78, 79s, 83s, some legendary old vintages. And what's the first thing that we do when we get a cellar like this? Well, we open some of the bottles, folks. You know, it's not very often that you get to try great vintages of great producers, great negociants in Burgundy. Well, back then in the day, you know, we didn't recognize some of the labels on these bottles because, you know, these producers don't exist anymore. With what happens in Burgundy with the succession after people pass away, you know, the labels go away, the kids put their own names on it, and well, these negociants used to buy from growers, they don't exist anymore. One of the things that I saw that looked familiar, Alex Lachine and Frank Schoonmaker, two of the great, well, these guys were in business together at one time. They broke apart. Alex's went to Bordeaux and bought Prieur Lachine and became a famous negociant there, and Frank Schoonmaker, one of the original Burgundy aficionados in this country, died in 1976, and before that, you know, he was in Burgundy finding some of these legendary wines and producers and bringing them to the United States. Seagram's eventually bought his portfolio. But as I mentioned before, this 72 vintage, not a great vintage, Mazy-Chambertin, spelled different than it's spelled today, M-A-Z-Y-S. Grand Cru, Alex Lachine, I knew the history of him, Mr. Schoonmaker. I said, we have to open this up. Well, hey, the cork pretty much fell into the bottle, so there wasn't any choice. Well, it was falling down. The Ullage, which is the space between the cork and the wine, which this Chambertin from 71, killer vintage, great Grand Cru, Jacques Prieur, an amazing producer. We can't put this on the shelf, folks. That, although the wine may be good, is not a Ullage that's good enough to sell, in my opinion. We only sell pristine bottles here. This is almost perfect Ullage for a 71 Musigny, once-in-a-lifetime find from Jacques Prieur. Well, this Mazy-Chambertin 272, of course, as soon as we took the cork, or attempted to get the cork out, it fell into the bottle. So we strained it very carefully so we didn't get any sediment or cork pieces into the wine. And then as we started to smell it, of course, very musty at first. Like I said, 72, not a great vintage. I wasn't expecting greatness from this. You know, if we could even drink this wine, I would be surprised. But man, after a few minutes, some of that cherry fruit started to come out. Some of that must started to blow off. Some of that bacon fat, some of those things, truffle that you get from these old Burgundy started to come out. The bottle's gone, folks. We drank every last drop of it. And that is a sign of a wine that's still good to me. Will you drink it? Hey, some of the wines didn't make it. The 72 Gevrey, you know, unfortunately, you can tell by the color of those wines, not great. But the color on everything else we have, the Ullage that we have on everything else in this collection, absolutely fantastic. Check it out on today's offer, along with our vintage Musigny tasting review. I'm your host, Andrew Lampasoni, signing off for the Wine Watch, saying, remember, always drink the good stuff first.